A few weeks later, the camera cuts to a view of a massive ovular structure in the city of Munich, Germany, as fans trickle in. Everything is covered in a light snow, making everything white, the flakes frozen in time, making them look like someone glued them there. Inside the arena, the show begins to play the intro, Ben and Isaiah sitting ringside. And we're in Munich, Germany, in Olympia Halle Arena on a cold and snowy Monday night. Ben said, "I believe this is our first time being here in this arena," Isaiah said. Just then, a promo started playing. The Tron showed the front of a white building in the middle of a bustling city. Statues of Pablo Picasso and Vincent van Gogh stand tall on either side of steps leading up. Each artist was depicted painting one of their iconic paintings. Vincent was in the middle of painting The Starry Night over the Rhône, and Picasso putting the final touches on his painting, Les Demoiselles d'Avignon. What a sight to behold. The artists looked like they were facing each other. Inside the studio, a woman stands in front of a kiln. The woman turns her head looking into the camera. As she talks, the scene changes to her as a small child, standing in front of a massive clock, the hands moving slowly. The clock is all brass, the hands pointing to 12 out. The woman began to talk. "I enjoyed many aspects of life." The scene changes to her, about 10, walking in a forest. "I was inspired by many things around me, and I would draw them. They would inspire me to continue my journey as an artist, as a person doing good in the world." More scenes play out of her in school as she meets wrestlers. Later, she paints them on an easel. Later, as an older woman, she graduates with an arts and theater degree, and the scene changes to her training in the wrestling school. Later, it cuts to some of her recent matches, her getting pinned by Phoenix, then cuts to the brutal 1-minute-long match with Raven as she pinned her for the 3 count. Animator looked into Raven's eyes, only to see nothing but malice staring back at her. "What happened to her?" she thought. "You used to be full of life, and now it's like someone else has taken control of you." That image of Raven staring into her eyes haunts her at night. The replay of Katie Chapman's counts echoing in her head also plays out to the crowd as she lies there. Chapman can't be blamed for doing her job. A pin's a pin, Animator thought. Animator began talking. "I don't know who I am. I am not the person I want to be. I know I can do better. I was the mad artist, but now I don't know anymore." The scene changes to her in her studio as she draws the Raven scene, throwing the pencil aside in frustration. "At the end of the day," she continues, "when everything comes off, we're all just naked and soft, exposed to the harsh environment and the harsh reality." She picked her pencil up again. "What is my purpose, you ask? You'll have to go with me to find out. From here on out," she said as the scene changed. "I am no longer Animator the Mad Artist." Subtitles appeared on the Tron. Just then, big letters appeared on the Tron, along with a glimpse of her new attire, a red leather jacket cut off at the sleeves, open in the front to reveal part of a tank top. The words said, "Same place, next Saturday. Money in the bank." The screen cut to black as the crowd cheered, leaving everyone satisfied. "I like this character, and I haven't even met her yet," Isaiah said. "Has anyone else seen this character, or is this her first appearance?" "I think that she is completely new. Never seen before," Ben said as someone's theme music played. "Ladies and gentlemen," Monty began, "making his way down to the ring, the Greek warrior Spartan." The crowd popped off as Spartan's logo appeared on the Tron. It was a bronze shield with a spear stabbed through the center of it, with the words Spartan in big red letters on the shield. The face of Medusa was carved into it. The spear looked like it was stabbed through one of her eyes. Fireworks and pyro went off as Spartan made his way down to the ring, fans waving to him as he went. He climbed to the top rope, pointing to the crowd, motioning them to do a battle cry. The crowd quieted down as Katie Chapman passed him a mic. "So," Spartan began, "it feels good to be back." The crowd cheered. And it's my first overseas trip, so hello, Germany." The fans cheered even louder. "You can thank the god of war himself, Ares, for helping me recover. At the rate that I did, but first," he pointed backstage, "let's talk about something you know. The people responsible for throwing me off a goddamn building, that's what I want to talk about." The fans booed when he mentioned this. "He better be careful," Ben said as the fans booed at the mention of the Brotherhood. "The Brotherhood runs the WWE Universe." We might not even see him at Money in the Bank next week. He better choose his words carefully, Isaiah said. Spartan waited for the crowd to die down. He's unpredictable. No one knows what he's going to say, Ben said. It would be better if they were here to say it to their faces, but since they're not man enough to come out, I'll do it right here in front of you instead. The fans cheered again. They like that idea, Isaiah said. Then, Katie Chapman interrupted. Spartan, I would be careful what you say about them. You don't want anything else to happen to you, do you? Spartan shook his head. What else could they do? Thanks for your advice, but I didn't come out here just to say nice things about them, so, Spartan said. Let's get started with the first one, Vindicator. Here he is, the man with a mask, too afraid to show his face and not man enough to fight back. All he does is sit his ass in the corner of the ring and wait for someone to do his job. The fans responded. What? I'm not done yet, Ray Parker. I almost forgot he existed. The guy barely says anything. If Sav were to ask me a thing about him, I'd say I don't know a thing about him. He paused to let the arena digest what he said. Then you got their newest pet, the biggest ass kisser of them all, Little Miss Raven. Oh my God, Ben said. I'm surprised the Brotherhood hasn't made their way down to the ring yet. I just got news that their plane was running behind, Isaiah said. You think they're watching? Ben said. I don't think the Rev would let insults get under his skin that quick. I don't know, Isaiah. I think Spartan's in trouble if he continues this. All right, how many do we got left? Oh yeah, one's not even here, he's in jail, so it's just the Rev. The fans booed. He paused. I almost became a check mark on your list. I thought I was dead when I hit that ground. If I were you, I'd want to start looking around yourself more because you pissed off someone that you wish you didn't. You're a spiritual man with all that preaching you do in the ring every time you're out here. If I were you, I would start praying to your God because the one that's coming after won't give a shit about your prayers. Just then, someone's theme music played, and the Brotherhood came marching in single file line down to the ring, Raven in the lead. Spartan turned to face them, the mic still in his hand. Hold on, I thought the Rev was supposed to be leading you. Did he ask you to carry his balls around in your purse or something? I know a few other people who don't have any balls. I'm surprised you guys came tonight. Just then, someone tapped him on the shoulder. He looked around to see a woman standing there in a sleeveless red leather jacket, which was open, revealing a black tank top with straps covered in sequins. One thing Spartan noticed was her green eyes. She had black boots with silver buckles, fishnets, and her black hair was up in two circular buns on the sides of her head. Suddenly, a group of medics came rushing out to the ring carrying a stretcher.
Is Paul
What
Heyman.
are you doing here? It was Lorvelli, and she looked annoyed. Just because your legs are healed doesn't mean that you can go out there and wrestle. What do you mean? Spartan asked. Your ribs. They're not healed up. You still have to rest. Nothing hurts and I want to wrestle, Spartan shouted back. We gave you pain medicine. I'm surprised you made it here to start with. The doctors say no. You won't be able to participate in Money in the Bank or WrestleMania. Shit. How many weeks? 6 months, Lorvelli corrected. And more if you keep doing this. Spartan tried to fight back some of the medics, but they got him onto the stretcher, carrying a protesting Spartan away. Oh, isn't that a disappointment? At least we won't have to deal with him anymore, Raven said, pretending to cry. Oh well, that's one less threat that... She was hit from behind. What the hell? Ben was surprised. The woman was in the light now, illuminating her features. Raven, hit from behind by someone we've never seen before, super kick to the back, putting her down. The woman looked vaguely familiar. No, Ben, I think it's Anna from the promo, Isaiah said. You sure? Ben asked. I'm pretty sure it is. She had smoky-colored eyeliner and diamonds running down one side of her face. She took the mic, standing over Raven. She faced the crowd, winking at them. Guten Tag, Deutschland, the woman said as she pushed Raven aside with her foot. I shall take center stage, thank you very much. Now that she had the attention of the crowd, she began to speak. It feels so good to be back here again. The crowd cheered. Those few weeks that I've been gone felt like months, trapped in my own head, not sure what to think or do about the future. I sat there, thinking about my losses, the most recent one being the most humiliating one of them all. The way she fought, there was no art to it at all. It was brutal, full of hatred. Maybe I underestimated her. Or maybe I was too focused on showing my world to the world. Whatever it is, I have come back to try again, to make a story of my own, to create a story, my story. Next week, I get a chance to do just that right here in Munich at Money in the Bank with 7 other women, and I hope to come out on top. The crowd cheered as her theme played, and she made her out of the ring. A few minutes later, the rest of the Brotherhood came to help Raven out of the ring. Backstage, Paul Heyman was on the phone. I'll tell him. There was a pause. We need a replacement before Money in the Bank. Bring someone from NXT if they're ready. There was a longer pause. He's here, I'll ask him. Suddenly, Aries strode through the door, the crowd popping off. Aries, Paul Heyman said, surprised. I just got done talking with Triple H, and he said something about you being a potential replacement for next week, and he stopped. My apologies, I haven't introduced myself.
My name is Paul Heyman.
Aries nodded. I'm a big fan, Aries said. I'm quite flattered, Heyman said. The shit that the Brotherhood pulled, Aries said, eyes smoldering. If he pulled that in a gladiator fight, I would strike him dead. Well, Heyman looked at Aries, then down at a piece of paper. From a quick glance, had a list of names on it. Aries noticed one of them was crossed out. Since Spartan is unable to participate in Money in the Bank, there is a spot. I could put you in as a competitor. Aries smirked. Don't know what the hell I would do with it if I won, but sure, I'll give it a try. I've got some ass-kicking to do. He turned to leave, but then stopped. I have a request, though. Yes, Heyman said slowly. I want you to be my personal announcer to start the Money in the Bank. Oh, okay. I will see what I can do. Back in the ring, their crowd cheered as Aries signed his name. The God of War has joined Money in the Bank, Ben said. The Rev must be praying like his life depends on it. Just then, Monty began to announce something. The following is a qualifying match against the current heavyweight champion, the Warden. Someone's theme began to play. Eli Hammer came out in a long black leather trench coat. Hammer stretched behind his back. Introducing the first from Los Angeles, California, weighing at 245 pounds, Eli Hammer. Hammer walked around, observing the crowd. He took a mic from Chapman. Munich. What time is it? Hammer time, they responded. Munich, Hammer said, now climbing to the third rope. There are so many opportunities for me if I were to win the heavyweight championship belt. I could become famous, go to Hollywood. The crowd cheered, waiting for him to continue. To be honest, though, I really think that I could be somewhere else, making it big. What? Ben was surprised. You see, I didn't have to go through NXT or whatever to get here. I was trained privately by someone that my dad hired. Don't know, all I do know is that I'm here with you. Did he just? Isaiah wasn't sure what to say. You, Eli Hammer pointed to the fans, and you are just a bunch of stepping stones to becoming the most famous person in the world, not just in the WWE, but in everything I do. I see dollar signs and big checks. Noticing one of the signs, he took it from a fan. It read, Hammer sucks. Tearing it in several pieces, he angrily gave it back to the fan. Way to make a statement, Ben said. He's not going to make it that far acting like that, Isaiah said. Eli stood off to the side as someone else's theme played. And his opponent, Monty said. Making his way down to the ring, originally from Tokyo, Japan, now living in the state of Kentucky, weighing in at 270 pounds, here he is, Dangerous Duncan. Duncan came barreling through the glass, making his way down to the ring. Duncan is here to get something straight, Ben said. He is here to get his cousin from the infamous Brotherhood. Duncan makes his first attack as the bell rings, Ben said. Hammer wants to finish the match by attempting to go for a pin, but Duncan dodges out of the way. Duncan climbs to the second rope, Ben said as Hammer looked up. He grabbed a hold of the turnbuckle and turned it, loosening the rope, causing Duncan to fall. Down goes Duncan, Hammer attempting the second pin. Duncan kicking out at 2, Isaiah said. Duncan got up, delivering a chop to Hammer, then another. Duncan going for the pin, Hammer kicking out at 2, Ben exclaimed. Disbelief on Hammer's face as Duncan gets up. Duncan went near the commentators. You think I'm going to give you an easy win, Hammer? Just because your dad paid for you to get here doesn't mean you earned our respect. Wait, Ben looked over. Hammer's grabbing something off the apron. It's the sledgehammer. Katie spots the sledgehammer. I don't think she's going to let this slide, Isaiah said. Monty got ready to ring the bell. And the winner by disqualification is Dangerous Duncan. Hammer walked away, muttering something about needing a better trainer. As Duncan made his way backstage, he passed Raven. Raven stopped to stare at him as if she didn't know him. Duncan looked into her eyes only to find that the cousin he knew was no longer there, but rather a shell of her former self. There was silence between them. Finally, Raven began to talk, though she sounded cold. Having fun, Duncan? Not knowing how to answer back, Duncan nodded. I guess, he said sarcastically, if you call humiliating people fun. You know, Raven said, opening her arms to him, we could use someone like you. I would hate a talent like you to go to waste. You would do that to your own family. Duncan looked hurt. I would do anything to protect the future of the Brotherhood and the generations that come after us, Raven said with confidence. Oh, really? Generations, huh? Even a king's got to lose his crown. You don't understand, do you? We fight for the right to sit at the top, others got in the way. Yeah, others died, Duncan jabbed back. I don't have time for this, Raven said impatiently as she disappeared into the shadows, Duncan watching her as she went. Just then, the Rev came into the room. Brother Duncan, he smiled warmly. Who said I was your brother? An object the Rev was wearing caught his eye. It looked very familiar. The necklace was visible now. Is that? Duncan had to look. That's Link's tribal chief beads? The Rev said with a smirk. Yeah, he should learn to lock his locker room. Disbelief shone on Duncan's face. Someday, all that power you have will crumble to pieces. Sneering, Rev said, There's no one that has been able to take us out. They say Roman is the needle mover. He paused. Then I'm the mountain mover. The current tribal chief hasn't done anything to keep things in order, so I figured I would do something about it. The Rev held the beads out in front of him. They appeared to be glowing red in the light. I figured out that not only do these beads contain the spirits of past ancestors, but they can be used to do more than hold the dead. Raven came out, standing next to the Rev. Duncan took one look at the Rev, eyes smoldering. Go to hell, he said as he turned to leave. What a twist of events, Ben said. Did you know anyone could do that with the beads? He asked. Not just that, Isaiah said. The Rev could use it on anyone to do what he says, whoever he has under his control. What a piece of trash. How low do you gotta go just to maintain your power? I don't know, Ben said. But this is how the Brotherhood rules, with an unforgiving iron fist. Well, Isaiah said. Next Saturday, we have Money in the Bank coming up here in Munich, Germany. Same arena starting on 7/6 Central. Join us to see what happens.